Link repurposing. This isn't a technique to build new fresh links, but rather repurpose old links. You may have most of your links pointing to your homepage or even an old landing page that might not even exist anymore. What you can do is you can reach out to site owners linking to you and have them link to a different page instead that is more important. It's a good idea to have your links pointing to your homepage as well as deeper internal pages. But if too many of them point to your homepage, go for some diversity and request some of them to be changed and linked to deeper, more internal pages instead. Link reclamation. Some of the links you previously built or earned may go missing with time. This could be due to pages removed from the sites of previous linkers, or they could just go lost during their site redesign processes. You can always reach out to them and ask for a link again in some way. And keep in mind that you don't have to keep a manual check on this. If you manually keep checking if all of your links are still existing, you'll go crazy. So what you can do is upload all of your links built and earned into a tool called Raven Tools. And Raven Tools is pretty cool. It will automatically notify you each time a link is removed or goes missing. So that's pretty cool. And there's also a full lesson later on in the course on Raven Tools. Phone-based link building is not exactly a link building method, but I still wanted to include it because this idea works extremely well. When you request for a link through a phone call rather than an email, it's a lot easier to make the relationship and get the link because you can be more personable and you can communicate a lot better over the phone. It's not possible to really do that through email. Of course, you can't pick up the phone for each link you're trying to build, so do this for only the top sites you're trying to get a link from. Display ads through banners on other sites get you an immediate link. Now, while this may be a short-term image link, it's still worth experimenting with. This can allow you to get a link on some of the best blogs in your industry and for a much lower price than if you directly asked for them for a link. And this is also really good for increasing traffic and leads. You can also buy expired domains and backlinks. So one of the earlier points, which was pretty similar to this one, spoke about checking the backlinks pointing to expired domains and having the sites giving them change those links from pointing to the expired domain to point to your site instead. But you can also simply just buy the entire expired domain and take advantage of the backlinks it has by redirecting it to your site. Now keep in mind that this is not exactly allowed by Google, so do this with care. It's definitely one of the more gray hat strategies. You can also reclaim links going out to your external profile pages. People will link to you if they like your product without you even requesting a link. But at times, such naturally earned links can be pointed to your social profiles instead of your website. A lot of times people will just link to your Twitter or your Facebook, and they won't even think about linking to your site. And of course, it's really helpful to get a link to your Twitter and your Facebook as well, but that's really helpful for traffic. As far as link building goes, you want links pointing to your actual site. So what you can do is you can do a backlink analysis on your Twitter and your Facebook and your other social profiles. See which sites are linking to your social profiles and ask those websites to either replace that social link with a link to your website or just add an additional link that goes to your website. If you've been making some site changes recently and deleted or removed some pages, and you now have a few missing pages, check to see if there are any links pointing to them and have them changed to existing and more updated pages on your site instead. Content gaps. Filling content gaps involves improving the content on topics in your industry on other sites. There's plenty of content out there that is incomplete, and you can just use a few additions to improve it. You, being the industry expert, can reach out to those sites with additional information and be quoted as a source or score yourself a link in some other way, such as getting a guest article or getting onto their blog rule because you're helping them out in improving their content. Content link replacements is similar to link poaching, except that it doesn't involve stealing your competitors' links, but just links to other content. So find content in your industry that ranks well and you have a substitute for on your blog. Get the backlinks of that content that's ranking. Reach out to the sites linking to that content and let them know that you have a similar article that is better and a more updated version that they can link to instead. You mainly just want to find content ranking Make it better. Ask people linking to it to link to your content, your updated and better content instead. One of the simplest ways of link building is to just create linkable content. Create assets that are link worthy. This could be in many forms. This could be in the form of ebooks, white papers, infographics, guides, market research studies, surveys, or just blog articles. It doesn't have to be super fancy and lengthy. Just provide value and make it better than your competitors so people see why they should link to you. When your content is good, people will want to link to you automatically. Dead content recreation involves offering to update old content out there that is outdated. Find content from your industry that was written a few or even many years ago. Reach out to webmasters and offer to give them an updated version. This works well not only for old content, but for also content talking about different strategies, techniques, technologies from your industry that are now obsolete and that need to be replaced with something more updated. If your blog is in English, have some of your popular blog posts shared on other sites in other countries in other languages after translation. Some popular language choices other than English would be, for example, Mandarin, Spanish, French, which are some of the most spoken languages globally. This can be like a guest article, except that you're not even writing new content, but you're just repurposing your old content that's been written in English and you're making it new content through translation. And again, you don't have to do this yourself. You can go onto a site like Upwork and just have somebody else translate it for you. And this is really great for businesses that have their products and services available worldwide, so they can target audiences in other countries as well. Though infographics and guest posts as strategies have been exhausted in the past, they still work well, provided that you do them right. Have a few infographics designed each year that are high quality and unique, so they're shareable and stand out from all the other infographics out there, so people want to share them. After having them designed, reach out to site owners and allow them to use the graphics on their site with a link back. Memes may not be suitable for all businesses, but if your business isn't too formal, give memes a try instead or in addition to other graphics like infographics. Comics, again, are not suitable for all businesses, but worth a try. If done well, they definitely have high chances of going viral, as they're definitely unique and not something that everyone out there is doing. Info animations are short animated videos. They're usually a few minutes long only and are made with the same goal infographics are made. That is to explain complex topics in a more easier way. These again are something that not everyone is doing and have better chances of going viral. You can also create an ongoing best of list either each week or each month where you link to the best articles or just overall best blogs from your industry by compiling them into a list. This is like a roundup list and similar to article roundups that are one question interview style, except that with this strategy, you're not really creating content. You're just creating a list of your favorite links. After creating and publishing it, reach out to the people that you mentioned in it and let them know you gave them a shout out on your site. This will allow you to build a relationship with them a lot more easier. And at times, they will even link back to the list they've been mentioned in, or return the love in some other way, such as socially sharing your article. Best blog lists, which are also known as blog rolls, which were mentioned earlier. Blog rolls are a list of your favorite blogs from your industry and can also be made as a list of your favorite tools, softwares, etc. You can reach out to people listed and let them know that they got mentioned and they got a shout out and end up getting links in the same way as the monthly, weekly best of lists idea mentioned before as well. Transcribing videos involves making a transcript of the content of a video, that is, producing a written version of the video content. Find YouTube videos in your industry that have done really well. Contact the owner and ask them if they'd like you to transcribe the video so they can use the written version on their blog. This would be useful to them, of course, because the written version of the video as a blog article would also have high chances of doing well since the video already did well. Also, it's something that's actually really easy for you to produce as well. Just get it done from a site like Fiverr or any other relevant website, and it's really not that expensive. You can get it done for $5 to $10. And since transcribing other people's videos is a way to help them, it's a fast way of relationship building that gets you links back in return. Translating content is similar to transcribing content. Translating content produces another version of the same content as well. Offer to translate other people's popular blog posts into other popular languages such as Mandarin, Spanish, French, etc. Or even any other languages depending on what the business is, which countries it's targeting, etc. So they can avail benefit of those markets. Again, this is a strategy of link building involving helping people and building relationships. And of course, that can always be used to get links in return. Grammar or spelling mistakes can be found at scale using a tool, so you don't have to worry about spending hours looking for mistakes. Have the tool search for any errors in popular articles from your industry. And if you find any errors, politely just let the site owner know. They'd appreciate your help, and it would be easier to get a link from their site from a blog post or resource page or blog roll, etc. Find quotes from popular, but not too popular, influencers from your industry and use their quotes in articles on your site and let them know that you mentioned them. The reason why it's not advised to do this for influencers that are too popular is because you might not even be able to get in touch with them. But do this for people that are somewhat popular. Get quotes from their blog according to, their thoughts and their opinions, whatever they said, whatever you like, turn it into a quote. Mention it in one of your articles and credit them as the source of the quote and let them know. Blog carnivals are like link submission parties, except that the link needs to be an article. Blog carnivals, which are sometimes also called blog parties, have a theme or topic announced beforehand, and they ask for bloggers to submit articles talking about that topic. If you participate and submit a link to your article on the topic, you get an immediate link. Blog incubation involves starting your own blogs to get links from, and this refers to blogs separate from your main site. And these are like mini blogs that you make just for the sake of linking to yourself. Make these blogs on topics related to your main site so that the links that you build are relevant. And again, this is something that Google is against, so do this with care. You can also always keep a check on content of yours that's being copied and posted elsewhere without giving you a link back. And you can use Copyscape for this. You don't have to really do it all manually. Everything that you put out there on the web has chances of being stolen, unfortunately. So keep a check on which of your content gets copied and posted on other sites. And if you're really sensitive about it, you can just ask the site owners to remove the content. But if you're really more concerned with just getting a link, reach out to the sites and ask for your site to be linked to and quoted as a source of that content. Now, ideally, you don't want entire articles of your content to be posted elsewhere because Google treats that as duplicate content. So it's really not favored. So try to keep that at a minimum. And if possible, try to have portions of the original content used instead of the entire article. Content curation involves finding the best content on the web, compiling it, and sharing it with your network. There are various sites you can use for this. One of them is, for an example, Scoop.it, scoop.it. You can create an account on that site and other similar curation sites and post curated content regularly. And once you build a following, you then have access to a network of people interested in your industry, and then you can always just post whichever content you want and post your content as well, so you get traffic. Web 2.0 sites. This involves creating a presence on Web 2.0 sites like Tumblr, Blogger, WordPress, etc. Web 2.0 sites are like free blogging platforms. You can put relevant content on them by either outsourcing articles to be written or through article spinning. And since these are like mini blogs, they're not your real site, the quality doesn't really matter that much. Once you've built up authority on these sites and a readership, you can then start dropping links from them to your main site. And these links will be relevant and all in your control, so you get to choose their location, anchor text, etc. And since the articles are either going to be outsourced or through spun content, you can do all of this through minimal effort. Instructional GIFs or GIFs. I know there's a huge debate on the pronunciation of that word. I personally call it GIFs. GIFs, GIFs, whatever. But it's a very new strategy and hardly anyone is really doing them. So it's a great time to jump on board. Instructional GIFs or GIFs are like screencast videos, except that they're much shorter, like 15 to 20 seconds long only. Actually, even shorter than that. I'd say maybe 10 to 15 seconds long. Although you can't really explain in depth and do an entire strategy tutorial, you can make these about little hacks and make multiples of them that all flow together as single steps to complete one large task. And you can always, and since these are so helpful, people really do like to link back to. Similar to using Copyscape to check people using your content, use tools like TinEye, which is TINEYE, TinEye, to find people who have used your images without your permission. If you're really sensitive about it, you can simply just ask them to remove the images, but if you're really more concerned with getting a link, you can have them add a link back to your site under the image that they've used on their site and quote you as the source for the image. Now, similar to using snippets for content, you can also add image embed code options. This will just give people the option of using the images on their site through embed codes instead of saving them and uploading them. And this also straight away gives them permission and encourages them to use the images. And the best part is that you automatically get a link back from the embed codes used.